going to set the scene for you. And the scene is, once upon a time, I wrote a book called The Day I Swapped My Dad for 2 Goldfish. It was a book, it was actually inspired by my son Mike, who at the time was about 4 years old. And I told him to do one of those things that, you know, you should never tell a small child to do, like, and I said, isn't it your bedtime? And he looked up at me with fury and he clenched his fist. He said, I wish I didn't have a dad. I wish I had. And then you could see him stop and try and figure out what it was going to do. And then he said, I wish I had a goldfish. And went off to bed. Well, I thought, that's brilliant. So I wrote a book called The Day I Swapped My Dad for 2 Goldfish, in which a father is swapped for a number of things by some kids. And he gets passed along from kid to kid. He's reading his newspaper, he never notices. This book has been given to fathers on Father's Day, as Father's Day gifts ever since. And I have felt guilty. Because I thought, you know, it's daddies. So I thought I would strike the blow for fathers everywhere. I would do a book for the dad, for kids, with a dad as a hero. So that was my plan. And I thought I would have this dad do the kinds of really cool, heroic things that dads do in real life. So, kids are out of milk for their cereal. He is going to go down to a corner shop and get them milk. And that is where we begin. They've been waiting a rather long time for their milk. There was a thump and a bang at the front door, and my father came out. Where have you been all this time? Asked my sister. Ah, said my father, yes, well, funny you should ask me that. You ran into someone you knew, I said, and you lost track of time. I bought the milk, said my father. And I did indeed say a brief hello to Mr. Robinson from over the road who was buying a paper. I walked out of the corner shop and heard something odd that seemed to be coming from above me. It was a noise like this. Thump, thump. I looked up and saw a huge silver disc hovering in the air above Marshall Road. Hello, I said to myself. That's not something you see every day. And then something odd happened. That wasn't odd, I said. Well, something odder, said my father. The odd thing was the beam of light that came out of the disc. A glittery, shimmery beam of light that was visible even in the daylight. And the next thing I knew, I was being sucked up into the disc. Fortunately, I put the milk into my coat pocket. The deck of the disc was metal. It was as big as a playing field, or bigger. It's got amazing illustrations by Scotty Young that you cannot see from where you're sitting. We have come to your planet from a world very far away, said the people in the disc. I call them people, but they were a bit green and rather globby, and they looked very grumpy indeed. Now, as a representative of your species, we demand that you give us ownership of the whole planet. We are going to remodel it. A jolly well done, I said. Then it said, we will bring all your enemies here and have them make you miserable until you agree to sign the planet over to us. I was going to point out to them that I didn't have any enemies when I noticed a large metal door with emergency exit, do not open for any reason, this means you on it. I opened the door. Don't do that, said a green globby person. You'll let the space-time continuum in. But it was too late. I'd already pushed open the door. I jumped. I was falling. Fortunately, I kept on hold of the milk. So when I splashed into the sea, I didn't lose it. What was that? Said a woman's voice. A big fish? A mermaid? Or was it a spy? I wanted to say that I wasn't any of those things, but my mouth was full of seawater. I felt myself being hauled up onto the deck of a little ship. There were a number of men and a woman on the deck, and they all looked very cross. Who be ye, landlubber? Said the woman who had a big hat on her head and a parrot on her shoulder. He's a spy, a walrus in a coat, a new kind of mermaid with legs. "What are you doing here?" asked the woman. "Well," I said, "I just sent out to the corner shop for some milk for my children's breakfast and for my tea. And the next thing I knew, 'He's lying, Your Majesty.'" She pulled out her cutlass. "You dare lie to the Queen of the Pirates?" Fortunately, I kept tight hold of the milk. And now I pointed to it. If I did not go to the corner shop to fetch the milk, I asked them, "Then where did this milk come from?" At this, the pirates were completely speechless. "I said, if you could let me off somewhere near to my destination, I would be much obliged to you." "And where would that happen to be?" said the Queen of the Pirates. "On the corner of Marshall Road and Fletcher Lane." I said, "My children are waiting there for their breakfast." "You're on a pirate ship now, my fine bucko," said the Pirate Queen, "and you don't get dropped off anywhere. There are only two choices. You can join my pirate crew, or refuse to join, and we will slit your cowardly throat and you will go to the bottom of the sea, where you will feed the fishes." "What about walking the plank?" I asked. "Never heard of it," said the pirates. "Walking the plank," I said, "is what proper pirates do. Look, I'll show you. Do you have a plank anywhere?" It took some looking, but we found the plank. I showed the pirates where to put it. We discussed nailing it down, but the Pirate Queen decided it was safer just to have the two fattest pirates sit on the end of it. "Why exactly do you want to walk the plank?" asked the Pirate Queen. I edged out onto the plank. The blue Caribbean water splashed gently beneath me. "Well," I said, "I've seen lots of stories with pirates in them, and it seems to me that if I'm going to be rescued..." At this, the pirates started to laugh so hard their stomachs wobbled, and the parrot took off into the air in amazement. "Rescue," they said. "There's no rescue out here. We're in the middle of the sea." "Nevertheless," I told them, "if you are going to be rescued, it will always be while walking the plank." "Which we don't do," said the Pirate Queen. "Here, have a Spanish doubloon and come and join us in our piratical adventures." "It's the 18th century," she added, "and there's always room for a bright, enthusiastic pirate." I caught the doubloon. "I almost wish that I could," I told her, "but I have children. They need their breakfast." "Then you must die. Walk the plank." I edged out to the end of the plank. Sharks were circling. So were piranhas. And this was where I interrupted my dad for the first time. "Hang on," I said. "Piranhas are a freshwater fish." "What were they doing in the sea?" "You're right," said my father. "The piranhas were later." "Right, so..." I was out at the end of the plank, facing certain death, when a rope ladder hit my shoulder and a deep booming voice shouted, "Quickly, climb up the rope ladder." I needed no more encouragement than this, and I grabbed the rope ladder with both hands. Fortunately, the milk was pushed deep into the pocket of my coat. The pirates hurled insults at me and even discharged pistols, but neither insults nor pistol shot found their targets, and I soon made it to the top of the rope ladder. I'd never been in the basket of a hot air balloon before. It was very peaceful up there. The person in the balloon basket said, "I hope you don't mind me helping, but it looked like you were having problems down there." I said, "You're a stegosaurus." "I am an inventor," he said. "I have invented the thing we are traveling in, which I call Professor Steg's floaty ball person carrier." "I call it a balloon," I said. "Professor Steg's floaty ball person carrier is the original name. And right now we are 150 million years in the future." "Actually," I said, "we're about 300 years in the past." "Do you like hard, hairy, wet, white crunches?" he asked. "Coconuts, I guess." "I named them first." He picked up a coconut from a basket and ate it, shell and all, just as you or I might crunch toast. He showed me his time machine. He was very proud of it. It was a large cardboard box with several pebbles on it and stones stuck in the side. There was also a large red button. I looked at the stones. "Hang on," I said, "those are diamonds and sapphires and rubies." "Actually," he said, "I call them special shiny clear stones, special shiny bluey stones, and special shiny red stones? I suggested. Indeed, he said. I called them that when I was inventing my really good moves around in time machine 150 million years ago. Well, I told him, it's very lucky for me that you turned up when you did and rescued me. I'm slightly lost in space and time right now, and I need to get home in order to make sure my children get their breakfast. I showed it to him. This is the milk. Although I expect that 150 million years ago you called it wet, white, drinky stuff. Dinosaurs are reptiles, said Professor Steck. We do not go in for milk. Do you go in for breakfast cereal? I asked. Of course, he said. Dinosaurs love breakfast cereal, especially the kind with nuts in. What do you have on your cereal? I asked. Orange juice mostly? Or we just eat it dry. But I shall put this in my book. In the distant future, small mammals put milk on their breakfast cereal. I shall write a wonderful book when I return to the present. Actually, I said, I think this is definitely the past. It has pirates in it. It's the future, he said. All the dinosaurs have gone off into the stars, leaving the world to mammals. I wonder where you all went, I said. Stars, he told me, that is where we will have gone. So, I said, can you take me home? Well, he said, yes and no. What is that? Yes, I would love to take you home. Nothing would make me happier. No, I cannot take you home. In all honesty, I do not believe that I can take me home. My time machine is being temperamental. I need a special shiny greeny stone. I've pressed that button many times, but nothing happens. Button? Don't you mean big, red, flat, pressing thing? No? I most certainly do not. It is a button.